everyone. So starting with this video, I'm going to share a bit on my experience using several controllers uh, for flight simulators. Starting from the least expensive to the more expensive one, or to the much better peripherals. Okay, so let's start the first one. So this one actually not the first controllers that I have. However, it's been with me for quite some time. I think many years. It's actually Logitech Extreme 3 Pro. So this joystick or controller is a basic generic controllers. So you can see uh, it's very ergonomics, and it has a twist rudder, so it's basic features. Some of the cheaper one definitely don't have it. Sorry, it's a bit dirty. And then it's quite precise. They said in the website, it said quite precise. It's okay. Actually, I've used this one in FS 2020, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, before my Trustmaster A320 joystick comes arrive. I mean, and I'm using this joystick because I've put my other more expensive one on my FA-18C cockpit, and the other one is actually I don't like it. I'll tell you which one. But yeah, I mean this one is pretty basic, and you could use for your serious flight simulators quite okay. I mean if you use for DCS or Flight Simulator 2020, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, I think it's quite okay. It has 12 buttons, so one, and then I think above here there's another one. No, it's actually only one up front. This is 8-way hat, and there's actually 6 for here, so 10. So 12 buttons plus 8-way head switch. So it's just all programmable. So I think it's going to be like around 20 buttons overall, right? And it has, of course, the roll, the pitch, and the rudder, the twist, and the Z. And then this is the throttle. Okay, you can use this one for throttle. I have, if you can see, I've cannibalized this thing. I've cut this one because I put it in my thigh, between my thigh, because I want to, because this is, at the time I was trying to have a center joystick before my VKB arrived. So recently, so when I play DCS or using a generic cockpit setup and FS 2020 generic cockpit setup, I want something that is a center location joystick, not on the side stick. So I kind of like cut this one and yeah, put some plastic glue over here just not to make it a bit sharp. And I managed to stick it into wood panels and then put a clamp here, so I can just put somewhere in my desk or in my center line or somewhere. So this is my DIY clamp, of course. So into the wood, this is a plywood base, and the joystick, of course, has been drilled and pre-attached to the base. So I can just quickly attach and dismantle it to be used for other, let's say, mouse or scroll wheel, or sorry, trackball if I don't want to use the joystick. So okay, so going back again, it's actually 20 overall buttons, where 12 programmable buttons around, and then 8-way head switch, programmable head switch. And I think they still use potentiometers, not Hall effect or contactless sensors for this joystick. So it's not as durable as contactless, but I can assure you it's been many years, I think more than 10 years with me, this joystick, and it's still functioning well. It's still pretty accurate, no like kind of jittery things or whatever it is. And actually this is much more durable compared to my Thrustmaster Warthog flight stick, because that has broke. Okay, I don't know why the Hall effect sensor's been knocked out and damaged the chips, and I cannot even. I've tried to repair it myself, dismantle it, and resolders the Hall effect chips, but it didn't work. So my hot ass Warthog base actually now is not is unusable at this moment. But this stuff has been like more than 10 years, I think. Yeah, because I could say more than 10 years. Yeah, definitely, and it's been working pretty well. I don't have any complaint about this, and I've been cutting this one, and it's still working, except for the rubber has been like torn here. I think, yeah, I mean, this is being oxidized, I guess, but that's quite common. I mean, that's the stick, and the pros is definitely affordable. It's probably around $40 in my country. I think it's very cheap. I mean, I think I've seen in Amazon in US it's $60. I don't know. It's a newer version or using a Hall effect sensor. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't think that version come to my country, so it's still like $37 kind of price range. So it's okay. It's very affordable. It's cheap basically. It's smooth. The movement is quite smooth. I mean, I've tested with FS 2020 DCS. I don't have any complaint. Durability, as I mentioned, it's been with me 10 years, more than 10 years, and still functioning well. And even I modified this for my backup joystick. Let's say if I want to use a center stick with my VKB, this one will be used for my F16 on the side stick, for example, because unfortunately the Warthog is not yet repaired. So until then, I have to have some alternative side stick, for example, versus the center lines joystick, for example. I can use this one still. Okay. I mean, I still like this one. It's smooth. I mean, it not have a very prominent center detent on the stick, so I can just quickly move to the uh, off centers precisely, quite precise, rather than some other type of joystick. They're kind of resistant before you exit the center detent, right? So this is pretty okay. I mean, I would say good things, and with the rudders, you can have a complete use for this one. Let's say for space sim, for example, or the second stick on your right hand and then another one on the left hand. This one has a rudder, the twist axis can be used for other function in the space sim. So it's a generic, a good generic joystick. The cons definitely is a less a less option on the tension, because you don't have any spring adjustment, whatever it is, right? You don't have any option to make it stiffer or lighter or whatever. It's a middle ground at this moment. So to me, it's okay. Because there's no detent, also no prominent detent on the center detent, so it's okay. So I'm pretty happy with the spring load or the tension. And then also this is non-contactless, so I assume sometimes it will broke. I mean the potentiometer, but if you are not a heavy users, you're a casual users. I'm a weekend, uh, you know, users anyway. So I'm using my simulators only mostly on weekends. I never done it daily because I'm working, so I don't have the time to really drive this joystick to the limits. So it's okay, right? And then the other gripes here is the option here for for let's say using a DCS. Let's say you want to play FA18 or F16 or whatever, the more complex aircraft. You have more limited options. So let's say this one is for trim. or you can use this one for trim, for example. It's okay, but this one for armaments, and that's it. Because then you cannot use for any other things, right? So this one is probably on the side here is probably for your uh, missile release or your armament release buttons, and this one is for guns or whatever it is, the main triggers, and it's not dual trigger level. It's okay. No pink wiki switch here. No kind of like usually you have another switch here for um, kind of like designate undesignate button in a V18, for example. You cannot do that. You have to use here, and then that's limited option. Then you have to go here on the side, and then you have to move your hand out of the stick, and that kind of lose the purpose of hands on stick or hands on throttle kind of HOTAS principle, which is hand on throttle and stick. So you have to keep on your hand on the throttle and then keep your another hand on the stick, right? So everything will be here. So this is very limited button option, mostly for casual users. Yeah, so it's not many options. So yeah, for whom? Definitely entry level. If you are new to the Sims or you want to buy cheap options, yeah, I did it also last time because there's a lot of expensive one. Cytec X52 at the time, that's one of the best, for example. But I don't like the models, of course. It's more futuristic, and Trustmaster definitely have been there for a while, and it's very expensive. Yeah, so the only cheaper option is from Logitech. I mean, Logitech is a big company, and they're okay. I've used their racing steering wheel for many years, and before I switched to Trustmaster. But yeah, I mean, they're okay, definitely, and making quite a durable product. I use a lot of gaming mouse from them also, and keyboard. Now, definitely entry level. Generic use of flight simulator and space simulator. You can use both of them because it's quite generic. And unfortunately, you cannot lock the rudder twist in these versions, in these models. Even the more expensive like Cytec X55 cannot do lock it also. But yeah, quite unfortunate. Only the latest Transmatter product that can lock their rudder. So it's like only roll and pitch. Yeah, but you can disregard the rudder function anyway. So even if twist doesn't impact your control into the flight sim. So yeah, I mean, I've rarely used this throttle because it's uh, not so accurate because it's a very short throw. I don't know. I haven't really used this much. Probably for some volume or something. I don't know. You can use that one. But yeah, I mean, this one is mostly for generic use of flight simulator, space simulator. I'm using it for FS 2020 for a while, just as a backup joystick, and mostly for non-simulation. I guess it's okay for arcade gaming. Like, yeah, some flight games that is not so serious, I guess, not require a very accurate kind of movement on your stick, and definitely it's not for non-commercial use because it doesn't have durable sensors and mechanics. It's definitely for home use, weekender, whatever. Yeah, so I think it's going to last long. Like me, it's 10 years more. So I think I've never used it daily anyway. So it's pretty okay. I've been beating this guy up quite heavy, drop it in several occasions, but it's okay. It didn't break. So yeah, this is a good joystick for entry level, and yeah, it's a worthy controller in my opinion. Okay, so hopefully that's useful. So if you still can find this guy somewhere in market and you are not willing to pay more, uh, this is an option. There are certainly more option right now, but this is cheap, but definitely a quality one. Okay, see you.